For $160 a month, a roll of fluorescent vinyl is like almost $1,000. Marketing, I handle accounting, I handle the employees and scheduling, I handle pretty much everything, maybe $5,000 or so. That's probably slow. My name's Allison. Our business is Signs 616. We got started about 20 years ago. So the owner's father, he has some family out in Minnesota, and while they were visiting family, he saw some of these portable signs and stuff and was thinking, hey, these would be a good business opportunity and stuff. They don't really see them in Michigan and whatnot. So while he was out in Minnesota, he purchased, I think it was 10 signs to start, brought them back to Michigan, and then just kind of worked from there. He kind of bought the business or started the business for his kids, so his daughter and his son, to get started. And they basically went door to door. They had a trailer with these signs on it and then pulled up in front of businesses and were like, hey, we rent these out, let me know if you're interested. And so it kind of just evolved from there. I mean, we've grown our inventory. We have about 100 signs in our inventory at this point in time, but that's kind of how it got started, is Missy and her dad and working out of their pole barn and things like that. Eventually they moved from the pole barn to where we are now, and we've been in this building, I think, for about 18 years or so.
And then can you talk about the products that you guys offer or the services that you offer?
Yeah, so we focus on affordable advertising through portable sign rentals. Businesses rent the signs from us usually on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. We offer multiple month discounts, multiple sign discounts. We travel pretty much all over Michigan. We have gone as far up to Petoskey to deliver a sign. We go over to the Detroit area. We go down, we've been in South Bend, Indiana. So yeah, businesses rent them to advertise different things or celebrations and birthdays or anniversaries, whatever they want. We can put whatever message on the signs usually that we want to. But we also offer, we started the vinyl side of things probably about 10 years ago, but we offer banners, yard signs, custom window vinyl, door vinyl. I mean, we have a lot of different options when it comes to vinyl. We do business cards, handhelds, magnets for vehicles, graphic design. We do just a lot of like logo creation or other graphic design stuff. It's kind of a what do you need and we'll figure out what we can do for you type situation. There's a few things that are going to be a little bit outside of our wheelhouse, but we have good contacts with other sign companies in the area and stuff too that we'll refer customers to if it's something outside of our wheelhouse, but usually we can take care of most things customers come to us with.
What percent do you think would be the rentals versus the custom?
I would say our bread and butter is still the portable signs. I'd say maybe 70%, 60-70% or so would be the portable signs. The vinyl side of things has been picking up a lot. So I started with the company about, I think I came full-time here in August of 2020. Working a commission job during COVID wasn't really working out for me. So when I came over, we were able to ramp up the vinyl side of things a lot more. I have a background in graphic design and professional writing. Having those skills, or having that skill set, is a little bit easier for us to be able to help customers out when they don't necessarily have all the graphics and stuff that they need to make prints. At this point in time, I would say, yeah, like 30-40% probably is vinyl, and then obviously the portable side.
For the custom orders and custom signs, are you doing that local as well, or are those going like nationwide?
But we can go either route. I'll say most of our business comes from local customers. There's a big advocacy for supporting small businesses and things like that, especially nowadays and post-COVID and stuff, which we appreciate. And we do our best to obviously give back, and we do a lot of donations and free signs and discounted signs and stuff for nonprofits and things in the area. But we do ship nationwide for all of our vinyl materials. So we have an order form on our website. It's like an inquiry or inquire for a quote. So we do that for both the portable signs, but all of the vinyl signs that you inquire about, you have the option to get them shipped or to pick them up locally.
What's a typical day-to-day or week-to-week look like?
So day-to-day stuff, usually we'll come into the office and take a look at what we've got scheduled so far on the portable side of things. So we'll take care of everything that we need to as far as placement for signs, wording for signs, permits for signs, and kind of just get our day and our route figured out. And then our driver will come in, get all the signs lettered up, get everything loaded and ready to go, and then he'll take off and go on his route for the day. And then it kind of just, it changes a lot from day to day. So it depends what projects we've got in the works or in our queue for vinyl. I'll go through, I work on all of the customer interactions as far as people ordering signs, scheduling things for future deliveries, and getting all the wording and the permitting and all of that figured out. And then I'll usually spend the second half of my day working on like graphic design or doing layouts and finalizations for customers that are ordering other things like banners and yard signs and things like that. So it's just a lot of organization, organizing all of the projects and where they are as far as ordering things or having graphics or have they been invoiced and things like that.
What are some of the expenses that come with this business, and do you guys have any employees?
Right now we have one full-time employee. He's our driver, so he works, I would say full-time. We typically work Monday through Thursday here. Depending on how busy we are, we'll pull Fridays if we need to, or work on Fridays if we need to. As far as expenses go, yeah, there's a lot of them, I'll say. There's obviously the signs themselves. So we have a metal fabricator that we use. He makes the signs themselves, or he makes parts for the signs, I should say. We do a lot of the assembly of the signs with just wood and plastic and the metal and whatnot on our side here. There's a lot of maintenance that comes to the signs. So we'll have boards that have been out or they've been used for years on end. So we'll have to take the metal sides off and put new wood on and new strips and things like that to hold the letters. The letters themselves are another thing. We run out of letters sometimes. So purchasing vinyl and coroplast is what we use for our letters. And the fluorescent vinyl is probably one of our biggest expenses. A roll of fluorescent vinyl is like almost $1,000. So it can last a long time, but it's a good expense, I would say, for the amount of vinyl that we go through. We want to make sure our letters are nice and bright. If we have faded letters from the sun and things like that, we get them replaced and stuff. Other expenses, just general day-to-day stuff. Gas, obviously, is always one. Obviously, employees that we pay for, rent, utilities, things like that, just general expenses. And then as far as, it's really just material cost. So if we have vinyl that we're cutting, or if we have a print shop or a material that we need to purchase, I actually do a lot of shopping around pretty regularly for that stuff because prices change on it somewhat often, and suppliers can offer it for different prices depending on where you're getting it from. So I do a good amount of research on getting the least expensive materials or the best quality materials for our money in order to make sure our customers get the best products. Equipment-wise, we don't actually keep a ton on hand. We have a vinyl cutter, a plotter that we use for like vinyl cutting. We have a plotter that you basically put the design in and the plotter will cut. It's like a large Cricut kind of thing. We do a lot of that stuff in-house, which is fun because we can do faster turnaround times and stuff. As far as printing goes, our printer is actually in the Detroit area. So we do all of the graphics and the design and things like that, but we put the order through to our printer in the Detroit area and they ship it to us. So it comes to us within 2 business days, usually, from when we place an order, depending on what the order is, but on average about 2 business days. It helps on our end to save cost of material. Like they order materials in a lot larger quantities, they get them cheaper, which means we can get them cheaper and things like that. There's not a ton that we have to keep on hand besides the stuff that we directly deal with, like letter inventory and vinyl for that, and metal and the portable signs and things there.
So you guys are essentially helping other people advertise. How do you guys advertise?
We do some SEO stuff. We pay a small company to try and keep our website ranked pretty well. We also still stick to the door-to-door stuff. We print flyers. Fortunately, we're able to do a lot of it ourselves, but we print flyers and handouts and stuff. And on slower days, we just go knocking on doors and passing out flyers, make sure people know that we exist. I know we've been around for a long time, but portable signs are not necessarily something people think of when they think of advertising. It's a lot of door-to-door, a lot of repeat customers, I'll say too. We have a couple of competitors with the portable signs nowadays. They're all former customers of ours at one point in time, but they do a good job. I mean, again, again, we just try to do our best to offer the best price available. We do a best price guarantee for all of our portable signs, just because, again, we usually have a little bit more in inventory. We have a little bit faster turnaround times because we have employees and things like that.
How much is it to like rent a sign, and how much is it for like custom signs? And then are people getting them like in bulk, or are they doing just one?
Yeah, it definitely differs depending on what customers are looking for. Portable signs, I'll say locally, because we travel with them, so the price goes up the further we have to go usually. But in the Grand Rapids area, we typically rent a sign out for $160 a month. We do a week or less for $100, 8 days up to a month for $160, or our current promotion is 3 months for $420, which is about $135 a month. But again, it differs. Like if we're going a little bit further out, let's say we're going to Big Rapids or something like that, they might pay $200, $225, something like that. It kind of just depends based on distance and time involved. So I think the most I've ever charged for a single sign rental is like $750, and that was for, I think it was a 3-month rental up in Petoskey, just because it takes a full day for us to drive 3 hours there and drive 3 hours back after getting the sign lettered up and everything too. So, and then as far as other things go, like banners and yard signs and stuff, we definitely offer volume discounts, but it differs on what people are looking for. I won't ever turn away somebody who's just looking for 1 yard sign, but it definitely gets cheaper the more you get. So usually we just determine cost by the amount of material, the cost of the material that we're going to be needing, and if there's extra time involved on our end. So if somebody has a logo that they created in Canva or something like that, or in a design software, Microsoft Paint, they designed a logo, but I am not able to print it or something, there might be time involved for us to be able to get it into a printable format, or a format that's not going to get distorted once we print it or size it up differently. So usually that'll incur some cost, basically just for our time involved and material involved.
Do you find that similar industries are renting the portables, like reoccurring?
Yeah, it definitely depends. So I'll say 2 direct competitors as far as the portable signs go. I believe they're just one guy. They have, I don't know, 30 to 50 signs probably in their inventory, and they have some good repeat customers, I'm sure too. Every once in a while you get like somebody new that comes into the game and they don't necessarily realize how much it takes to keep the sign business going. I know we did that maybe a year ago. We had somebody new come on to the scene that used to be a customer of ours, but they didn't last very long. They purchased some of our signs, but then started renting them out to other customers and things like that. So it just kind of depends on who they have going, again, where they come from and stuff. I know one of the customers one of the businesses used to work for, I think it was a Chili's, and he gets a lot of like the fast food restaurants and stuff because he has contacts and things like that. It's a little bit easier for him. But again, it's based on who they find. I know we get customers that inquire with us regularly that used to have other people's signs and vice versa and stuff too. So a slow month is we're not renting very many portable signs usually. Slow month is probably, as far as income goes, I'd say maybe $5,000 or so. That's probably slow on our end. My personal goal is to make sure we get at least 1 sign rented for every day of the week. Usually we keep that on average, so we're renting out maybe 30, again, on average. I've had an order for 22 signs before too, so it kind of just depends on the seasons and stuff. We slow down a little bit in the winter, but we were bumping during COVID because there were so many like mandates and changes for restaurants and things like that. We had portable signs going in and out all the time during COVID just with all those changes, so customers or restaurants can let their customers know. But on a good month for us, if we're renting a good amount of signs out, more than 1 a day, I would say, maybe 20,000-ish. I'd say 20 to 22 is around, I would say, what our good months look like. But our seasons have changed a lot. It's kind of hard to predict right now what things are gonna do and where things are gonna go, just because we had that COVID period where a lot of businesses slowed down. Ours happened to benefit because we provided that service to other essential businesses and things. It's a little unpredictable, I'll say, but on the slower months, we just know we need to work a little bit harder. We need to make more calls. We need to pound more pavement in order to ramp the business up, and usually that's all we need to do to turn things around if we want to.
Do you guys have any plans for the future? Or what does growth for the company look like?
We always want to obviously grow and expand and things like that. We don't have a huge plan to like bring bring on a ton more employees and things like that, we're somewhat comfortable with where we are. The more people we bring on, the more expenses and time that get involved. But I mean, our goal right now is to try and ramp up the vinyl side of things a little bit more. It's nice to be able to do a lot more of that stuff remotely, or not necessarily have to be on site in order to get stuff to customers and things like that. We do a lot of drop shipping and direct shipping and things like that. So that's kind of our short-term goal, is to get more vinyl customers involved, just make a bit more of a name for ourselves. I feel like if we've been in the Grand Rapids area for about 20 years, I feel like we should have a little bit better of a reputation than not a bad reputation that we have, but just make sure people know that we exist and that we're available to help people out. Most places, especially businesses, they need some kind of service that we offer. Again, with even just putting business hours or your logo on the door or things like that. We do a lot of that, and with the portable signs, businesses opening and closing and moving and things like that. Just want to make sure that we're available and that customers know that we're around for them. So we've been focusing a lot more on just getting some social media going and updating our website and making sure it's a user-friendly experience for our customers.
Would you recommend a background in graphic design?
My personal experience is, so I got my bachelor's from Grand Valley in professional writing with an English emphasis, and then I did a 2-year online course for my graphic design certification, I guess it is. I definitely recommend some sort of formal education when it comes to graphic designing, mainly just because the programs are complicated. You get a lot more for your money when you can, I don't know, create better workflows, or you know the software enough to where you're not having to YouTube search or Google search every move that you make on the computer side of things, which is kind of what we did until we got on board with somebody that had graphic design experience. So I do recommend it. Outsourcing it might not be a bad option either. So if somebody's trying to get into the business and they don't have any graphic design experience, there's lots of options out there nowadays. You can get pretty inexpensive options. I know we get solicitations for people in like Timbuktu coming over and asking if we want to have them do our graphic design for, I don't know, pennies on the dollar usually. I mean, experience in business, I would say, is more important, especially in a small business like ours, just because I wear a lot of hats in this business. I handle HR, I handle advertising, I handle marketing, I handle accounting, I handle the employees and scheduling, I handle pretty much everything other than driving and lettering up signs and stuff like that. So you just need to be able to keep your information organized, I would say is most important, and it'll benefit you in the end.
Do you have 3 tips of advice for any other entrepreneurs out there?
I would say don't worry too much about what everybody else is doing. I would focus a lot on what you do, the experience that you provide for your customers, and just work to make that the best or easiest experience for them. I'd also say find a problem and find the solution. If you had a bad experience with XYZ in this scenario, figure out the solution before having the problem take over. Honestly, it's just provide the experience that you would want. I mean, obviously you're starting a business to solve a problem or to create a service or a solution for customers or for clients, but you want to do it in a way that keeps them coming back. Retaining customers is a lot easier and a lot less expensive than gaining new customers. So make sure that the customers that you have are being appreciated and you're doing everything you can for them to be able to want to continue doing business with you, because referrals and recommendations from your existing customers is the easiest and the best form of advertisement that you can possibly get as a business owner.